So I want to come on, and I've been coming on lately and just sharing some of the practices that I'm like in the moment using to help me when my mind is turning to worry, when my thoughts are going down the rabbit hole of what if this happens, what if that happens, and so just like that future tripping that just brings up that like mental, emotional, and physical heaviness that if I don't pay attention to it and I continue to let it compound and grow, it will become anxiety, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want to take up permanent residence in worry, for example. So I've had a lot of worried thoughts lately. My mind just naturally just seems to like be focusing more on the things that I potentially should be worrying about, because what if this happens? And so I've really had to up my game with some of these tools and practices, but it's a really good reminder too, something that I was saying to my husband the other day. I said, even though I'm having these worries, even though I'm having these negative thoughts, even though I know better, logically, I know better, but when your mind goes to worry, it doesn't care about logic. I also have a toolkit full of tools and practices that I can turn to. So if this was 10 years ago, I would be taking up permanent residence in that worry, and it would have turned into anxiety. But now, because I've been doing this work for so many years, I'm a decade in, more than a decade now, I have this other thought in my mind of, you've been preparing for this. Like, this is the stuff you prepare for. We don't do these practices or just when life is going really well. We need to continuously do this work at strengthening our mental, emotional, physical, attitudinal, even spiritual muscles, so that when shit happens, and we know now because this has been our 2 years, when that stuff happens, we're prepared for it. We're still feeling all the feels of it. Listen, I still feel all the feels, but I'm not taking up permanent residence in a place that I don't want to feel, in a dark place that I just don't want to be in, because I know what it feels like. So I've been sharing about all of these tools that I'm turning to, all of these practices that I'm turning to. And one of the things that I've been using for the past couple of weeks, because my mind is turning to worry, and my mind is turning to worry for a few reasons. I have a lot on my plate right now. We're in another lockdown. So we're in another lockdown. And again, my business is not able to continue to do what I used to do, which was my main revenue earner. So again, I'm sort of sitting on the sidelines, just waiting for that to come back, even though there are certain things that I can control, which is I have all of these beautiful online workshops now. So logically, I know that, but when my mind is in that worry, I'm just like, that's it. I might as well just shut my business down. I also am in the middle of a move. And this move is causing me to worry because, again, I'm future tripping. What if the house isn't done? What if the truck is delayed? What if the truck doesn't show up? Like all of this stuff, because we have to move out of this house, get it cleaned and perfect for the new owners to come in, which is something that I want to do. And we have to move into this other house, which we're in the process of building ourselves. We don't have a general contractor doing it. We're doing it, and we don't even have toilets yet. So like, you can see how your mind, right, can just go. Now, I also understand these are first world problems, but I don't want to minimize it and ignore my very normal feelings, because if I do that, it's just going to compound. So the past few weeks, while I'm like in these worried spirals, and plus just life, right, I've been asking myself, what do I have control over? I have control of this. I have control of this. I can do this. And then doing those things throughout the day. Doing the things I have control over. That's what I actually wrote about in this week's blog. If you want to go to it, this week's blog at contagiouslypositive.ca on the website is a practice for when your thoughts turn to worry. So you can go to one there. One of the things that I've been doing has been in the evening. in the evening, for some reason, it's really helping me. After dinner, we sit, we watch a couple little funny shows, my husband and then I come upstairs, have a little alone time. You wouldn't think I would need more alone time because we've had so much of it the past couple of years, but it's sort of like my time to get ready for the next day. And I just walk around the house and I get the kitchen all cleaned and I do the dishes, done. Like the kitchen is just done. I finish the entire task instead of having those things that, oh, well, I'll wash those pots tomorrow. I do the whole complete thing and it makes me feel really accomplished. It's something that I have control over. And then I walk around the house and I have this little vacuum and I go and I do the vacuuming and I fluff up the pillows and I fold all the blankets and I pick up Axel's, that's my dog. I pick up Axel's like 50 toys and I put them all in a pile, which he then proceeds to go and take. So that one's kind of pointless. I have no control over that unless I hide them, which I would never do to my dog. And then I just go around the house and I do that. And I go into the bathrooms and I kind of tidy up the bathrooms. And if there's any laundry that I haven't folded, I will do that. And I spend like an hour in the evening doing this. And I make sure that my desk is clean and ready for me the next day. And then I wash my face and I brush my hair if I haven't showered, and I brush my hair and I water pick my teeth and I take care of like my physical self. And then I make the bedroom all really nice and I turn the lights down. And I always make my bed in the morning because I like the way it looks aesthetically, and my husband likes the way it feels when all the sheets are tight. So the bed's all made and then I get ready for a restful sleep. And I don't know why, because I've never been one to do that, especially in the evening. I'm like, it's evening, I'll do it later. But those simple tasks right now make me feel like I have control of this in a situation, in an experience where there's so many things that I don't have control over. So all of that 7 minutes in to say to you, pick these little practices, these simplistic things that you can do that will make you feel like you have control over certain aspects of your life if you're in an experience where there's so many external things that you can't control. So many external things, so many external people, all of these things that you don't have control over. And what this will do is it just gives your mind this distraction away from your thoughts of worry. Now, those worried thoughts may come back, but what you can do in that moment, and I said this in the blog as well, is just ask yourself again, what do I have control over? And do that thing. Also, while I'm doing the cleaning, I'm either listening to an uplifting podcast, because in that moment, like, I do not want to be taking all of these worried thoughts to bed of, like a really serious podcast, or I'm listening to really beautiful music, or I'm listening to like meditative music, like just sounds in my mind if I'm not like really wanting to hear more words or anything like that. And that's really helping as well. These tiny little things. What do I have control over in this moment, and do it? Find these practices that make you feel good. Find these practices that distract you from your worries. Find these practices that helps you get these control of your life when you're feeling out of control. Find these practices that make you feel accomplished. Find these practices that make you feel like, wow, I've completed something all the way. Like, I feel really good just, when I walk out of my kitchen and I know my kitchen is really clean. And I know that when I walk in there in the morning tomorrow, I'm not going to go like, oh crap, yeah, I have to do all those dishes. Now, sometimes I don't have the energy to do that. And I want you to know, like, don't do my practice. Find your practice. That's really important as well. Use mine as an inspiration of just saying, oh, okay, this isn't about this specific practice. It's about, what can I do when my thoughts turn to worry? Well, I don't really like that because I don't have the time for that, or that doesn't bring me joy, or that's not going to make me feel accomplished, or that's not going to make me feel like I have control over my life. But this does, and do that thing. And I promise you, even if the thoughts of worry come back, even if the future tripping comes back, you can just pivot again and turn to that question again. What do I have control over in this moment? And you just do that thing. These are like uncertain times. There's so much we just don't have control over right now. You're not alone. You're not alone. And, you know, I heard this thing the other day, which I really loved, which is we may not be in the same boat, but we're in the same ocean. And one person may be experiencing something completely different than another. I don't say that to minimize what you're experiencing. I say that so that we can have perspective, that we can help each other. Like, you may be in your boat, someone else may be in the ocean without a boat, and you can say, get into my boat. I'm here for you. I've got you. And it's just about really connecting with one another and our stories and our experiences, and knowing that we're not alone, and knowing that the one thing, this is it, knowing that the one thing that no one can take away from us is our ability to support one another, our ability to be there for one another, our ability to have compassion towards another, our ability to be kind to one another, our ability to just support one another by just literally just sharing our stories, just saying like, yeah, me too. I'm having a really hard time right now too. I know I have all of these things to be grateful for, and I'm really struggling right now. What are you doing? What's really helping you? And really connecting in that way. So even though there's so many things right now that we can't control externally, everything that happens from us, from the way we speak, the thoughts that we think, the things that we do, the actions that we take, the decisions that we make, no one can take that away from us. That is ours forever, because it's inside of each and every one of us. And one of those things is how we connect with one another. So that's why I wanted to just come on here and riff and share what I'm currently experiencing right now. There's no like systematic, thing that, like here's step 1, step 2, step 3. It's literally the most simplistic thing, which is what do I have control over in this moment, and doing that thing. And sometimes I have found this, talking into my phone, knowing that that is going to go to another human being who sees it, and they might be like, oh, thank God, I thought I was the only one who was feeling this way. We think that, we still believe that, even though, again, we've all been swimming in the same ocean the past couple of years. Well, always, but especially the past couple of years with the experience we've been experiencing with COVID and with the lockdowns and everything that has come along with that, which has been a lot. And I think we have had to deal with a lot of stuff, a lot of changes, a lot of new ways of thinking, a lot of new ways of doing, a lot of new ways of being, a lot of new ways of connecting. And we're doing a pretty good job. We're doing the best that we can with what we have. And that's all we can do. And we just hopefully continue to get better, and to grow and to learn and to continue to support each other. So yeah, those are my thoughts today. I am now going to say goodbye because this has gone on longer than I thought. So I'm sending you so much love.